Every life insurance agent I have ever talked to has said the same thing at some point in their career. They lose a sale, the prospect says it is too expensive, or let me check with my cousin, or let me think about it. And the agent walks out of that conversation, gets in the car, and starts telling themselves that the premium was too high, the carrier that they're working with is not competitive, the rate class killed it, term is cheaper somewhere else. And agents think to themselves, that's why the prospect said no. So if you've been doing this for 6 months or 6 years, then maybe this is a story that sounds familiar, because every agent tells it to themselves at some point in time. And the fact of the matter is, Gran Cardone, he speaks about this like all the time, and that's why I want to speak about it in today's video. And the whole point of that thing that he talks about is that price is almost never actually the reason people don't buy. It is at the bottom of the list. So today I want to walk you through what Gran Cardone actually teaches, and I want to show you exactly how it lands in a life insurance conversation, because when you understand this one thing, your close rate is going to move up. And so Gran Cardone, he does multiple of these like selling seminars, and he had a salesperson on his team who was convinced that if the ticket price for a Gran Cardone seminar was lower, they could sell like twice as many tickets. And he heard it enough times that he decided to test it. Like Gran Cardone, like he was being told that same thing so many times that he wanted to like check if it was true or not. So he ran a like Gran Cardone seminar in Detroit, Michigan, which had always been one of the best attended cities. And he priced the tickets at 1/10 of the normal price, right? So 1/10, 10% of the normal price. And the only rule was the salesperson could not do a full presentation. He could only send out a marketing piece with the date, the price, and a phone number, because at that price, you cannot afford to do like a real presentation anyway, right? It wouldn't be worth your time. And given the fact that the price was so low, that seminar had the lowest attendance of any Cardone seminar in like 20 years. Like it didn't even, and this is something he says, it didn't even cover his airfare. And when Gran Cardone asked the room why so few people showed up, the answer was people didn't believe he would actually be there. Like at that price, they thought it had to be like a video, like a recording of him. Like if the price gets too cheap, people stop believing there's any value in it. So Gran Cardone, he did the opposite next time. He doubled the ticket price from like the original price, and attendance went up by more than like 100%. And that is the whole point. Like price is almost never the issue for the buyer, even when they tell you it is the issue. So the question is, if it's not the price, what is it? And so Gran Cardone says it is love or confidence in the product. And I know love is a weird word to kind of like hear in a sales conversation, but stick with me, because this is the thing that kind of like shifts everything. Let me give you an example. Like if your prospect is head over heels, like sold on the product, they will find the money. If they're not, they will use the money as the excuse. And so Cardone puts it like this: if you have ever lost someone you love, in that moment, like when you got the phone call, would you have sold everything you had to get them back? Yeah, of course, because love and confidence are worth more than money in that moment, the numbers in their bank account. And I want to translate that conversation into life insurance conversation, because when a prospect says the premium is too expensive, what are they actually thinking? They're thinking, is this the right amount of coverage? Is this the right carrier? Is my cousin gonna tell me I made a mistake? Is my spouse gonna be mad? Am I gonna feel dumb about this that I'm doing in 6 months? And like, what will happen if my health changes and I need to like convert the policy? Will this company actually pay when my family calls them? Am I better off just putting the money in the market? Is there something better out there? And like all of those questions are running through the head at the same time. And none of them are actually about the dollar amount of the premium. They're questions about love, and they're questions about confidence. And if you handle those questions, price stops being the issue. Now, the second piece of this is what Gran Cardone calls move up, do not move down. And this is the one mistake I see agents make constantly. I mean, I made this mistake myself. A prospect says the premium is too expensive, and the agent immediately reaches for like a smaller policy, cuts the death benefit in half, switches from whole life to term, drops the face amount by 200, 300 grand, and what happens after that? The prospect stops buying entirely because they're already not sold. And now you're showing them something they're even less sold on. And Gran Cardone says this creates like a message in the prospect's head that says the salesperson, this life insurance agent, has no solution and I'm wasting my time. And he tells a story about a prospect who told him his product cost too much money and Gran Cardone could not close him. And that same prospect left and bought a similar product for $150,000 more from our competitor. So when the prospect said it was too much money, what he was actually saying was it was too much money for the solution that Gran Cardone offered him. It was not too much money in general. It was not too much money for the right solution. It was too much money for that one that was offered to him. And the same thing happens in life insurance conversations every single day. The prospect says the premium is too much, and then the agent shrinks the policy, and then the prospect walks away. Then 6 months later, that same prospect buys twice as much coverage from an agent who actually took the time to build like the right thing. So what Gran Cardone teaches is when you get like a price objection, before you move down, try moving up. Try showing them something bigger. Say something like, hey, I hear you on the premium, but let me show you what the coverage looks like if we went up like in face amount by 200 grand, just so you can see like the full picture. Because now one of two things is going to happen. Either the prospect is going to look at the bigger option and it is going to make like the original option feel more accessible, which kind of like builds value then, or they're going to tell you they need to go to like the other direction, which tells you the objection is real. Like either way, you've learned something and now you're shopping with the prospect. You're not negotiating with them. And so let me give you an example. Usually when I present like a policy, I don't try to put myself in the client's shoes, like in the sense that I'm not trying to think, oh, like what are they gonna think? Are they gonna think like it's too much? Are they gonna think it's too little? I show them the option and I leave it up to them, right? Like I show them the premium, I show them the policy. Even if I think the prospect is gonna be like, oh, like this is too much, let them decide. Let them decide what is too much and what isn't too much, right? So I show them a higher policy, right? Which is the policy that they need. And then if they're like, hey, no, I can't, then we go down, right? But initially, I always try to like show them, hey, like for 2 million or for someone your age, it would be this much. For someone that's not as healthy as you, your $1 million wouldn't cost this, it would cost this much. So I hope that makes sense. And the third piece that Gran Cardone says is, and this is like the hardest one to swallow, but it is, I think, the one every agent needs to hear, and that is that customers do not stop sales. Salespeople, life insurance agents stop sales. The prospect is not the barrier. You are the barrier. And the fact of the matter is that it is not like a beat up statement, right? I'm not trying to hammer this. Like it's actually good news because if the prospect were the problem, you would have no control. You would just have to hope that the next lead is better. But if you are the barrier, that means you can fix it. You can go back, you can study the objection, you can go back and like kind of like rebuild the presentation. You can go back and make sure the prospect is sold on the coverage before you even talk about the premium. And here's the practical version of all of this for life insurance agents. Take your last like 5 lost deals, just 5. You don't have to go through like your last 50 meetings. And for each one, do not write down like what the prospect said. Write down whether the prospect was actually in love with the coverage you built. Did they see themselves protecting their family? Did they see the policy solving a real problem in their life? Did they trust the carrier? Did they trust you? If the honest answer on any of those is no, then the premium was never the problem. The premium was the exit, because it was easier for them to say the price than to tell you they were not sold. And the moment you stop chasing like lower premiums and start building policy that your prospects actually love, the business changes for you. And Gran Cardone, he says this, he says, if it were all about price, please explain why people stand in line for a $4 cup of coffee when they could brew like an entire pot at home for almost nothing. Or why people spend $2 on a bottle of water when they could just turn on the tap for free. Like it is not the price, it is what the product means to them. And your job as a life insurance agent is not to make the premium smaller. Your job is to make the coverage matter more. Like give the prospect a policy they love. Give them confidence that it will actually protect the people they care about. And the premium becomes like what Gran Cardone says, the price is almost never the reason. The premium is almost never the reason. So with that being said, I hope you got something from this video. I'm rooting for you. Take care. Let's get to work.